Today's chemistry lesson is on atoms and isotopes. The first slide that you will see has the learning objectives, and at the end of my introduction, I'd like you to copy these down, but you will realise we've already done atomic structure a bit in lessons, and we've already done one task working out the numbers of protons, neutrons and electrons in an atom. The third learning objective is brand new, and that is what we're going to be doing today. Okay, start a task. Take a look at this and think. So the particles around the outside of the atom are called the electrons, and the central part, the nucleus, contains the protons and the neutrons. Well done if you remembered that. And this is important. The other thing we need to know about atoms is that atoms are neutral. Neutral means they don't have a positive charge and they don't have a negative charge. Why is that atom neutral? If you're not sure, count the positive protons, count the negative electrons. That's right, because it has 3 pluses and 3 minuses, it's a neutral atom. This should look familiar. You would have it in your books in school, but you will need to come back to this slide perhaps to help you. This picture of me in the bottom isn't very helpful right now. Oops, can I move it? There we go. But this slide will help you to remember what the bottom number means and what the top number means and how to work out the protons, electrons and neutrons. This is an example of how to do it. Look, sodium, 23 for the top number, 11 for the bottom number. And the red writing is how to do it. So if you want to know the number of protons, you go to the bottom number. The number of electrons is exactly the same, but to work out the number of neutrons, you need to take away top, take away bottom. This video is quite helpful as well. This man is explaining how to do it. But this slide is new, so when you get to isotopes, I want you to click through this, reading it and thinking about it, learning it independently. So here we have an atom with the symbol capital C. That's right, capital C for carbon. The bottom number tells us the number of protons, which means that the number of electrons is the same. Who remembers how to work out the number of neutrons? That's right, top number take away bottom number. This next one is also carbon, but notice that the top number is different. So let's work this one out. How many protons? How many electrons? And how many neutrons does this carbon have? And finally, now I'm in the way up there, how many protons does this carbon have? Mrs. Newton has just arrived in the middle of our recording. Sorry, you know, I miss. 6 protons. How many electrons? 6 electrons and 8 neutrons. Now, what you have seen here is an example of 3 different, I'm trying to move my picture again, 3 different isotopes of carbon. They're all carbon, but they have different numbers of neutrons. And that's important. There'll be a question on isotopes in the task. And here we are. So this is where I'm going to leave you. You need to click on the worksheets link. You don't need to print them out. Don't worry about printing them out at all. All you need to do is look at the questions on your screen and write the answers on paper. Okay, so you should find that that link works. And there's your work. All right, so you should be able to go back to the slides. If I come out of the slides and start your lesson here. If you have any problems at all, go back to the Google Classroom assignment, go back to that page where your work is and type a question in the private comments. Bye then.